Are tech companies stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to advertising? Let's bring in Jim Stewart, columnist for the New York Times, a CNBC contributor. Jim, marketing spend when the economy slows down is one of the first things to suffer, but there's also questions about the health of the consumer here. What should investors really take away from what we've seen so far?
Well, there's so many headwinds coming from so many directions at the moment. There has been a dizzying change of sentiment, which you can see in these, incredible stock declines, which are kind of reminiscent of the tech bubble of, some time ago. But I think there's no question that these were all growth stories. They were predicated those prices on very high growth rates of both revenue, subscriber base, which of course are related. And those growth assumptions are now not only are they being brought into question, they're being slashed. The subscriber growth, which we saw very pronounced at Netflix, has gone in their case has gone into reverse. I mean, that is a shocking change from the aggressive numbers that people were putting on there for subscriber growth. And with that goes revenue. The fact that Netflix is now talking about trying to have an advertiser model is not that comforting when you think it sounds like it was something they said they would never do, they would never need to do, and it kind of hints at kind of desperation there. But you're seeing elsewhere the subscriber growth numbers are looking shaky at the very time that digital advertising spending, because of the broader economy, is likely to go down. So these stocks are getting hit with two kind of broad reversals on key assumptions that were holding up their stock prices.
Yeah. So Jim, when you're buying a stock, for the folks out there, when you're buying a stock, generally speaking, you're buying a share of future profits, right? It's based on what's going to happen in the future. Now, the streaming landscape, Netflix, Disney Plus, all this stuff, even a lot of the social media landscape, never really seen a recession before. We don't know that we're going to have one, but there's lots of talk about it right now. What are the key assets historically that media companies of all types need to have in order to thrive in the future? So if you're placing a bet, if you're buying a stock now, what is it really about? Is it about engagement? Is it about the quality of the content? Is it about just overall growth of the audience?
Well, growth is the key metric, but a key to growth also is what kind of competition they face in the landscape. And I think there you do see some significant differences in the media companies. And the reason that's so important is if you don't have growth, if you're not going to get greater scale, and large revenues that way, then you've got to somehow increase margins. And you can increase margins if you have pricing power, and you have pricing power if you don't face too much competition. And I've long felt that Netflix is facing a lot of competition. The streaming area is fiercely competitive now. The spending rates that have been going on there with Disney Plus and their Amazon with such deep pockets, Netflix, Apple, everybody throwing money at this, and yet there is really no competitive advantage that any of these streaming platforms have. And you can argue Disney has some intellectual property, but everybody likes to talk about, they've got a network effect. But I don't see it. I think what we've seen in the subscriber reversal at Netflix is it's really only as good as its latest hit, and that's the same old story that Hollywood has grappled with forever, which has made movie making a relatively low margin business. So at the other scale, I'd say you have like a Meta, a Facebook, you have an Alphabet. They do have significant network effects and competitive advantages that should give them greater pricing flexibility.
So, Jim, you talk about network effects, and you talk probably most importantly about what the differentiator is for these companies. So for my final question to you, let me zero in on the technology here. What is the most significant technology advantage that one of these media companies can have, whether they're social media, whether they're streaming? Is it the technology that's being used to make the content? Disney's got this, huge digital wall that they're using to make shows like The Mandalorian. They're able to make content, high quality content more efficiently. Or is it the ability to target ads, or, as part of that, knowing more about individuals in your audience to make more money off of them? Is there a technology advantage to be had here?
Not in the strictest sense. I think the technology can be replicated. We saw that, with streaming itself, the technology, many competitors have come up with it. The competitive advantage in social media has been that, this network effect where, the reason Facebook is so successful is you want to be on the social platform where all your friends are, and your friends want to be on the same one where you are. It's, the classic, eBay situation where you want to sell on the auction site that has the most buyers, and you want to buy on the auction site that offers the most products. But having a network effect, I have to give credit here to my colleague, Jonathan Nee at Columbia Business School. He wrote a great book called The Platform Delusion. Just because you have that doesn't mean it's going to lead to greater profits.
And that's the key.
It might or it might not.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key here. And you've got to look at each one individually. Right now, they're all being dragged down indiscriminately, but I think some are going to prove to be more resilient than others.
All right. Jim Stewart, the New York Times, thank you.